Isn't it crazy that unk means uncool?
I think that's bull. I think it should just be short for uncle.
It says a lot about our society that uncle and uncool are so synonymous that people could... if I say, oh, you're being such an unk right now, if you knew I was saying uncle, you'd still take offense.
Yeah, true.
But if I was saying, CK, you're being so unk right now, and you thought I meant uncool, you'd also take offense.
But like, there are some people where it'll be like, hey, what's up, uncle? And it's like, okay, it's uncle. I guess, yeah, it's uncle.
I think it was one of those words where I got so used to its shortened form before I understood it as a meaning for anything, that I kind of just see it as unk and not associate with anything. Like the
Riz.
unk is the diss. Like Riz, but Riz is charisma. Whenever I hear Riz, I mentally
never.
think of charisma.
I'm just like, it's Riz, I guess.
I don't think about it, I just have it.
I had a flash forward moment where I was sitting here and Ben started off the podcast and I go, you mentioned like a few weeks ago that would there ever be a scenario where one of our guests we have such great energy with that they become a third host?
Oh, I did.
And I was like, yeah. I pictured that in this moment. I was like, Ben's gonna take over the podcast.
Yep.
With your Riz.
With my Riz.
With your Riz.
With your Riz. You're gonna slowly worm your way in.
Do you have any... I just read who is Nigel's
Terrified.
secret crush?
you
All your listeners, get a life. Lucas has...
I have an amazing My Chemical Romance shirt from the My Chemical Romance show.
Boyzone. All boys, all the time.
All boys, all the time. It's like a trashy magazine cover, but My Chemical Romance.
No, it is really, really good.
It's
I've
great.
got a cool shirt on it as well, but it is just so damn cold today that I don't want to...
You want to describe it?
I didn't buy it at the show, regretted it, and then I saw an artist that I love selling theirs, and I was like, I'm going to buy it. So.
Do you want me to describe the shirt?
Describe the shirt you're wearing.
Please.
My shirt is the white outline of the side profile of Viet Cong leader Ho Chi Minh. It has 4 hammer and sickles at the corners, rays of red light coming from his nose, and it says Vietnam on the bottom. It is a shirt that started a truly heartbreaking argument in my family during a dinner. That's real.
I don't like that you're barreling the camera while you do this.
Support your local. Buy local. It's a great shirt, and sometimes I wear it around people that probably could have served, and I just think, maybe I shouldn't have worn it today.
Why did it cause a fight?
Because my dad, I don't know.
We don't have to get into it.
My family loves history. And so if there's ever an opportunity to have a conversation.
About history.
I mean, it could have been about anything. I could have been wearing that shirt. And my sister could have been like, you know that shirt, he started the band because of like 2001 and like that thing with the planes. And then my brother would have been like, actually it wasn't a plane, it was like a jet. Da, 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 da. And
Right.
you know.
And then it spirals from there, yeah.
Based.
You know.
Do you want to show your cushion to the camera?
Showing it anyway. He's kind of doing best out of all our guests so far.
Kind of done
showing
best.
the pillow.
So often someone, not always me, someone will just ruin the cushion during the clap sync.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the thing and seeing that I'm so goddamn loud.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. Later you won't be.
That's fine.
You're not peeking.
The spike where I
Oh,
said
maybe
Ho
you
Chi
are.
Minh.
I'm just gonna lower you slightly.
Yeah.
There we go. But it's just because you've been saying all the good things and we haven't been saying
Yeah.
anything yet because
Yeah.
you're taking on such a role.
I've watched almost every single episode, and I can't think of one time that you guys pointed the camera and said Ho Chi Minh. That's interesting to me. It's interesting to me as a student of politics and history.
Do
You
you?
think it should be a new trend we start? Like every
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Don't do the clap.
Don't do the clap.
The audio sync is you pointing the camera and saying ho. It will never be taken out of context.
So
Never.
we've never done this. Ben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So
just
I'm
said
Ben. I'm the producer of.
Bro is not the producer.
I'm not the
Yet.
producer. So I met this lovely little gay man at a gay conversion
Therapy camp.
conversion to gay.
Yeah.
Yachting trip. Which
Yacht extravaganza.
whenever I describe it, it's like, oh yes, I went on a yachting trip with a bunch of gays, and my friends are like, did you come back? You know, like, was it to an island? Was it to? You know, it sparks a conversation. But yeah, where we met a bunch of our friends, like Carter and like. You know,
Lot,
just a bunch of them.
famous from Who Raised You, Carter.
Carter, etc. And they're just such lovely, fantastic people, and you know, like we all kind of met each other at like such a kind of a great time, like kind of at like apexes of like a lot of moments in our lives, and it was just so fantastic. And from that moment, we've just kind of been friends for ages, but only now and kind of recently am I really starting to get into, you know, exploring the whole friend group, which is why I get to meet lovely CK,
Lovely CK.
who's fantastic. And we hang out, and you know, we drink like, you know, a reasonable amount, and you know, we do New Year's parties like once a year, and we have fun.
New Year's parties once a year.
Just a conservative about it.
Just conservative. What's funny?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
What are you
okay.
worrying about?
Oh, sorry, I'm just it jolted, and I'm like, I'm skittish. I'm kind of a skittish person.
Just don't look at it.
Just don't look at it. That's my job, to look at it and get stressed about it.
and get worried.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is why we need a producer. Which is why we're never going to have one.
Just never Yeah.
But-
it would be really fun and nice, but it would just be
Not with that attitude. If you're just a little bit more damn hopeful
yeah.
and opportunistic,
It's not that we're like, we're never going to get a producer. It's that we like the thought of...
they're lined up around the street.
Imagine some guy just sitting there watching us the entire time. 'Cause that's what
Sounds
it would
pretty
be.
good when you put it like that. Sounds like a lot of fun, and you're honestly, you know,
I was like, we're
Yeah.
going to have such great conversations when Ben's on the podcast. It's just going to be you saying really funny shit, and me and Lucas having to edit our laughs down.
So, yeah.
I'm glad that I'm able to make you guys laugh at all, considering that you diced me up in the previous
we
episode.
did nothing mean.
You didn't say anything mean, but it was mean to me.
Well,
not all that matters.
I
Spiritual.
apologized, and I said it was all love, and you said, I know.
No, you did say it was all love. Shout out to Edie, who said, Ben seems like such an articulate guy.
I have to have to say
Me
that.
when the guy
That didn't cost me any money yet. That was just off the cuff.
me when the guy who's on our podcast references our last podcast guest talking about him. Our lives are so
It's a
meta.
circular economy.
Me when the next guy that you have on is just an egotistical. You're like, it's so meta, and he's like, this is insane. No, but it was really nice. And she said that I was very articulate, and then when you were like, Benji was smashed, and she's like, really? I wouldn't have thought, he's never the kind of guy. And I'm just like picturing that night. And it is pictures. It's not like a moving image.
No, it's, yeah.
But we have such good pictures of that night. Oh,
I mean, you know, say what
we
you
remember
want
to take the
about,
Polaroid afterwards.
Yeah.
say what you want about my actions and words and the way that I treat people, but I looked good in the photos.
You looked
You do look great in the
That's what
photos.
matters. That's honestly
I
all
think
you want from a party.
recently, we were on. I don't know who I was with. I think it was a quiz or something, and I mentioned you and your beautiful partner, and they were like, "Is his partner beautiful?" And I showed a photo
I
and was like,
remember this.
"Yes."
Yes.
And I was like, "They're a fit couple."
It's a fair question to ask. One, because what do the kids say? Chopped hus. And then two, it's a good question to ask because I'm always saying how beautiful my partner is.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm.
good to get visual confirmation because they're always like hiding, and I'm like, come over here.
No, because
Photo of you.
Because it's funny when I say like I don't ever refer to your partner just with their name. I just say Ben's beautiful partner.
Ben's beautiful partner.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It's good to get that message around there. Adjectives have never been bad, and so it's good to
Never.
just.
What's your what's the top 3 adjectives that you use in like day-to-day life?
Oh my god, I'm so glad you asked this question. Cantankerous, which means angry. Abysmal is an amazing
Abysmal
one.
is so great because
Abysmal's good.
Abysmal makes you genuinely like really picture horrific weather.
Just think about how you say abysmal.
Abysmal.
It brings you
That's
down. And then the third, screw you for asking me this question. I hate you for asking me this question because I cannot think of the third. But I always think of those two. You know
Hey,
what?
we
I'll
can
say terrific. Terrific's a great one.
terrific. I don't think I use terrific.
If somebody says, how's your day? And you go, oh, terrific.
I don't
You're
think I
like-
use terrific that much in my general life.
Yeah. Because it's different from great, a guy that struggles.
Ben's
You
breaking the
can move
couch.
the cushion.
Yeah, I'll move it.
Throw it
Sorry.
across the room in anger. Well,
What?
don't actually, because
Just
there's things
don't,
in this
'cause
room.
there's so many like things.
Bro places it down
I'm just kind of a
so
gentle person.
gently.
It's like a neat thing.
So what does your hoodie say?
It's like one of those graduation hoodies.
Uh-huh.
You want to hear a fun fact
Classic.
about my graduation hoodie?
Okay.
It's that it has the classic school logo on the top, and you and your friends take a while to like design it, even though it looks like every other graduation hoodie. The back of the hoodie has the classic thing where it says 24, 25, like the year that
With
you
all the names
graduated,
in
and it's made up of the names.
Yeah,
But my
yeah.
class only had 20 people, so you
It's just
see
repeated
repeated names.
Oh, right, that's so
It is
funny.
I
so
wanna see
funny.
it.
Yeah.
You don't show the camera.
Take a photo of it and then put it on
Zoom
screen.
in.
I've already
and
spotted
then-
one person's name.
Yeah,
for
you
the
see my
time.
name like 4 times. I didn't lobby them to do that, by the way.
There's one of you. There's a Lucas on here.
Spelled wrong. Yeah.
Spelled
Lucas spelled
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Wait, CZ really has it going for them.
And when I talk to people, I'm always like, oh yes, Lucas, not you. But when I talk about you, I'm like, Luke.
That's real.
Interesting, because I
Luke's a great name.
have a good friend Luca and a good friend Lucas, and whenever I'm talking to Forrest about you or Luca, he goes Lucas or Luca, because I like and I have to specify it, because I'll just say Lucas, and
Yeah.
not
Too many people
clear.
know, like, who I know also know Lukes or Lucas, and too many people that I know have dated Lukes or Lucas
So-
after, like, being friends with me.
So there's people who come up on dating apps that I would otherwise swipe yes on that I swipe no on, because I'm like, I can't date a Luca. Genuinely, I'm like, that would be too
I'm so
confusing to my
sorry.
life, because I already have a friend Luca and I already have a friend Lucas, and I'm like, I don't need another one in my life.
You need a Lou.
I need to date a Lou.
I once
Skip
went.
to my Lou.
I once went on a few dates with this girl who has the same name as my sister,
I remember this.
but she's like my older sister, so it's not like it's not like I'm living with her or anything like that.
Mhm.
She's like much older than me, and my friends would not stop. Straight friends, by the way. Shouts out
Gay
to
friends would
you.
never do
Shout
that.
out to whichever one is it. Actually,
I was gonna say.
they would always point it out and be like, "Isn't that weird?
Well,
Isn't that a weird thing?"
Well, I
And
did.
I'm like, no, you're making it weird. I take the high ground. I'm like, it's actually weird that you think that.
Yeah.
Well, I dated a
Interesting.
girl with the same name as me, so
That's true.
That is weirder to me.
that
than
is weirder.
sibling.
It is weirder. But again, neither of us went by the birth name that we share, so
Mm.
it's like. It wasn't like we wrote, like, I think the weirdest thing would be to refer to your partner with your name, like the Taylor Lautners.
I was gonna say it's like the Taylor.
Like, do they just
Lautners.
go like? Surely one of them is Taylor and one of them's Tay to each other, right?
Surely.
That's like, I think that's the thing.
Isn't it Tyler?
No, it's Taylor and
It's
Taylor.
both
Is it Taylor?
Yeah, it's both
But on-
Taylor.
I think on their podcast, because they have a podcast. I think
They have a. Is it called the Taylors?
I think it's something. It is a joke on the name.
Good.
It better
good.
But
be.
I think
better- yeah,
one
like
of
you
them's
have
Taylor
to.
and I think one of them's Tay.
Mm.
But I was like, if my partner referred to me, and so if I went up to you and I was like, hey, CK, that's weird.
Do you think there's ever any resentment being
CK
like
babe, I
the
love
Taylor
you.
that gets the
Morning,
call me by your name.
morning affirmation, but you're talking to your partner. I love you, Ben. And they're like, okay, and you're like,
Okay.
this is for me.
This is just for me.
Might as well just be a mirror there.
Do you think there's ever any resentment on the partner that gets the nickname? Like, oh, I'm Tay now. You get to be Taylor. You get to.
Well,
have
there's
the
always
name.
like I wonder about people at school, like kids in classes who have to be like, there are some like most often it's Cameron Y and Cameron S.
Or if
but
you're,
there are
like,
some people who one
adjust
person
their
gets to be
nicknames,
Cam.
like their last name. Sorry.
Yeah, but also some people, like I've been in classes where someone gets to be Cameron and someone gets to be Cameron S.
Ooh.
Not the last.
Yeah, the first name and last name is like bad, and then sometimes it'll be just the last name, and that's bad.
I'm so lucky because Ben is a common name, but I've
Mm.
never been in like a classroom where there's like another Ben, and if there is, then they're
That's so interesting.
then they'll go by Benjamin because they're like called
Mm.
Benjamin, and I'm
Well,
usually just called Ben.
Charlotte was the most common girl's name the year I was born, and it's resurfacing. It's second again, behind Isla.
Interesting.
I
Can I
almost
be
said to
honest?
the Isla
And I
I
mean
know.
this with love. I'm surprised it's even on the board.
Oh.
No,
It's a lovely name.
No, but who-
But
no,
I can't think of any
But
Charlottes.
you know the thing is that that's the thing, is that no one goes by Charlotte.
Charlie.
Mm.
I don't know.
Charlie.
I don't know any Charlottes that go by Charlotte, because everyone becomes Charlie, or you're weird like me and become CK, or you
'cause-
become Lottie. Like
Because you only know gay people.
Sometimes being weird is being brave.
yeah, but I don't know any.
Ever thought about that?
Charlottes.
Yeah, in my high school, like the first year I was ever at my new high school, there were 2 Lucases in the class. They just never referred. We always knew who was being talked about because we were such different people,
Mm.
which is really weird. But it's just
That's the ideal though.
Yeah, it was
That's
literally
It'd be
ideal.
great.
funny because I assume that Lucas was spelt wrong.
Yeah. Of course.
So I assume, like,
But it was never like Lucas with an A. It was just like, oh, Lucas, can you
But
come
it'd be
over
really
here? And I'm
funny
like,
if
"It's not me."
they gave up and just called you, A, based on
A.
the vowel that you have.
Oh my
I always
gosh.
I always find it funny whenever like a lot of like straight cis people, which I would never even associate myself with.
No.
Love all of you guys, by the way. They're like, oh, I just don't understand. Like, I find they very confusing. And I'm like, if I told you that my aunt was at a party and you didn't know their name, you'd call them you and you would never mess up the entire night. Like, you can switch it around.
Yeah.
It's funny because Jeffree Star. I saw Jeffree Star. There was a video.
The goat.
The goat.
Queer icon, sorry.
But Jeffree Star is a prime example of someone who is queer but not culturally queer, which is an insane position to have because
Milo
Yes,
I saw
Minneapolis
Noah Fintz was made a video this morning. I haven't watched it, but I probably will. And it was like, how can Jeffree Star be such a queer person and he takes such an issue with non-binary people? Like, he made a whole video recently, like, being like, no, like, it was like they them, and he was like, no, it's you're a male or a female, and I'm like, you have been cross-dressing your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are famous because you have been cross-dressing, and you have you will have made some people realize they are non-binary. Maybe.
Yeah.
But you were like, with the way you express your femininity, and you're like, you're a man or a woman. It's like,
It's like whenever like, oh, there was this era of like where like almost all the trans male YouTubers were like trans meds, and so they
Yeah.
would be like, it would be really interesting because they would be like the people that young trans guys are looking up to, and then they're like, actually, I hate non-binary people, and now one of them goes by he they on dating apps, and I think that's really funny. But
I wanna-
Drama.
I heard-
neither here nor there.
I was going to ask you a question about, like,
Life
couples,
and
but I forgot what it was. It was when we talked about
mortality and
the same
death
name
and-
thing.
oh yeah, yeah, but my friends just made like a super like weird thing about I would date somebody that has my own name. Luckily, my partner does not have my name. In fact, has a name that is so different to mine that it's
Mhm.
like really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like, if you were both Ben, would that be chill, or would it have to be like Ben and Benjamin, or
here's
like Ben
the
and
thing:
Benji, or
is
like
that when I die
Benjamin and Benji?
and somebody at my funeral doesn't use the word erratic to describe me, I'd come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would piss me off.
Mm.
I would absolutely date a guy called Ben just for the bit alone. That's insane. I come to your party with a guy who's tall and blonde, and I'm like, that's Ben.
It's like that next level of the joke about gay men dating themselves.
But theoretically, if you were to date someone called Ben who was tall and blonde,
I almost did.
Really?
There was this guy
You
with
say
the name-
I would have maybe done this.
There is this guy. Oh gosh, I actually forgot his name. No, but it was similar to my name, and he was tall and he was blonde.
Man.
And only after we'd like kind of been around each other, I was like, this is weird. And other people are looking at us like, I don't know, like a nobody will get this reference, but like a twin Dark Souls boss, where it's like they're only with each other and you have to like defeat one before you defeat the other. I'm like, that's how people must look at it, because they only see you as a pair, and that's something I could
But
never
I do think
handle.
I think doubly. I think that, and you can correct me on this. I think that you are a personality that is like very strong, and if you were to date someone similar enough to you that with all of that strong personality, you'd always be fighting for who was Ben number one personality wise. Like I would, like, in a way, I do think that it's real. Like, if someone had the same name as you, same features as you, and had a very similar erraticness to you, it's like
Erraticity.
Erraticity?
She sounds like you're irritating.
That's the name of my podcast.
Erraticity. So I'm like, I don't know if I would. Like,
I mean,
I
yeah.
think that it would be like, oh, this is like, this, like, not just viewing you as a pair, but viewing you as like
Kind of the same person.
kind of
in
the same
end.
person, but one is more than the other, which is so detrimental
Yeah.
to anyone's psyche.
I
Or
mean,
or if your other Ben was in a relationship going, well, my partner Ben is like me but more.
Or me, but less.
Oh, nobody knows.
That'd be so offensive.
Psychopath, villain, freak would say me, but
you're
less.
like, yeah, my boyfriend's like me, but less. That's evil.
But like my current partner, We have so many. Yeah, I said current because we had a bit about it. We had a bit about saying current, but it's so funny. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Is my forever partner. I love you. Has been talking about how it's like because we both have very strong personalities, and we're like very charismatic, and we want jokes to land. I mean, we've openly had conversations about like, don't you hate it when you like say a joke and it just like doesn't land? You might as well just leave the party. Like, we've talked about that kind of thing before, but it's like strong in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, you can be somebody that's like really funny whenever they talk to a room, but it's more comfortable with like a group of like 4 people. Or you can be somebody who, whenever they just walk into a room, people are like really happy to see them, and they just like crowd around them, but they're not much of a talker. Like,
Yeah.
I think of personality as being like, I mean, everybody thinks of it, it's so horizontal. But sometimes, you know, you could, like, if you have a strong jokey personality and then you're with somebody else that has a strong jokey personality, then you really want to make sure that your jokes line up, or that you have a sense of humor that can mesh or something.
That's one thing that I've noticed about since I started dating is, because I'm so much more aligned than him, he started like stealing parts of my humor, and it's really bad for me because then he'll be hitting me with like a bro said this, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, you can't copyright bro.
No, but it's like he only started doing those raises when we'd been together for a while.
Yeah.
And it's like... Oh.
I think I'm interested in terms of, do you think like it's beneficial for a child to have parents with the same humor or different humor, or like if your parents are too similar, does that give you less like you see less of their if their personality is very similar, does that mean you're seeing less options for your personality? Or like if you have very different parents, is that like good for your development?
Well, to answer that question, we need to confront the elephant in the room, which is that last episode Edie said that their key way of parenting your guys' future child would be to inundate them with quote the brain rot of, what was it? Twitter. X everything out. That's crazy to me, because for me, to answer your question about like you know, like the transference of like humor and things, I don't think humor is that important, and I say that as somebody who does like being funny and does like seeing people laugh. Making my kid funny is not my priority. I don't care if they're funny or not. I'd like them to take a joke. me coming up with an excuse to bully my child. I'd
like them to be able to take a joke, but they don't need.
Oh my god, get over it! You're literally the worst. No, I would like them to, you know, be able to take jokes, but also discern when to not take them. Like if somebody's being rude, you're not just like, they're always joking. But I think for them to be able to like say jokes all the time, I'm not bothered.
Yeah,
I'd much rather they had a love for reading, they were media literate. I'd much rather that they were able to like explore like the vast worlds of science and try and figure out something that they're like there. I don't really care if they, you know, I'm not forcing them to watch Hive Mind every day. Oh my god, if they did, it would be the legendary. But I think it might be detrimental. So I'm not like,
do you think there's a danger of like, I was going to say, maybe you're not worried about making your kid funny because you are so funny. That you were like, it's natural to be funny, so you don't have to you don't have to but also...
I don't think it's natural to be funny.
Do you think humor is nurture or nature?
I think that
it's nurture for sure.
Some species we have documented laugh and communicate in a way in which, you know, increases the dopamine levels that are similar to laughter. I think that in some ways it is natural, but as...
Anthropology guy over here.
But I don't think it's natural on purpose. Like I don't think nature selected a species to be funny.
Interesting.
I think that we have selected ourselves to be funny, and I think that it gets worrying on a political level when people are like, "Oh, I love this politician because I could have a beer with him," or "I love this politician because they're so funny," and it's like that John Marco clip where he says, "Grow up." Like he's a professional comedian, and he's like, "Grow up." The only way that you can like somebody is whether or not they're funny, they can be really bad in a political scene.
Totally.
And so I'm just not, but I do think humor is one of, you know, it's a great joy in life. It's fantastic. But I think to go back to your original question, you know, me and my partner joke around so much that they would end up, you know, well, no, but they would, nobody can be as funny as me. Come on.
Look at us.
But I think that they would end up taking our jokes. I mean, I take my dad jokes all the time. Like, my dad's humor is not funny, but it has some bits that I'm like, oh, gonna take that.
Yeah.
Like, I do this thing where when I just walk normally, my dad does this thing. He's a very short, funny guy, but he's like a little dude. Is that when he walks around, he's actually not bald. He's actually got a full head of hair.
Oh,
but
kind of imagined him bald.
Yeah, I know. When he said short, I imagined him bald.
It's a good no because if I say that he's short but has a full head of hair, you immediately go British. I mean, that's like a classic British thing. But if I'm like short and bald, you're like Lithuanian.
I'm just
you know,
imagining
who is
your
this?
D&D character now.
Exactly. But no, 3 of my uncles are bald.
Oh, okay.
They always say
On
that.
By
your dad's
choice?
side, or?
On my dad's side, his brother is bald, and on my mum's side, she has 2 brothers who are
Are
both
you
bald and bald.
paranoid about
choice,
hair
or-
loss, Ben?
I'm not paranoid, but I know it's going to happen.
Okay, but
Even though your dad has a full head of hair?
Yeah.
Like
But
a
you're-
George Lucas style?
I
or like
just
it's going?
no, not like proceeding.
Mm.
But he's got like a good head of hair, and his corners are fine.
Oh, okay.
My corners are starting to go back, and I'm like, that's how it is.
Mm.
I'm not paranoid about it.
that's good.
I'm
That's a
not.
healthy way to be. I'm not. It's what?
Don't ask me.
I wanna
I'm fine
linger
with
on the politics thing anymore. Do you think it's dangerous to have there be such an importance on entertainment value for politicians?
Absolutely.
Like, I think it's scary that people don't want to vote for certain politicians because they're boring, or because they have no charisma, or they have no enticing energy that's going to spark or live the. I do think there is a positive element to energy and like youth and like youthful like confidence in terms of politicians. I think that having like a spark and having passion is really important, but I think that you can have passion without being like the it guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think of it as like the actual good policies and ideas are like the oxygen in your blood, and then the movement to get them to like do stuff and go to places is the heart. And you need the heart to be constantly pumping to make sure that these ideas and the oxygen is going to all where it could possibly be. But ultimately, if you don't have oxygenated blood, if the ideas are terrible in this instance, if you've got super charismatic leaders who just have nothing to give out there, not like our government, which has neither. It is an unoxygenated blood with a dead heart. I think that it is important. You need to be charismatic to get the ideas out there. You need to be charismatic enough to, like, are billboards morally wrong? No. Other stuff that they show there, could that be wrong? Yes. I think that, putting yourself out there is a good idea. Having your ideas out there is a good idea. But things get tricky when a leader is just like...
Sticky with Mickey. Sorry.
Is he sticky with Mickey?
From Matilda. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Someone out there will get that.
No, yeah. If a politician is a little too charismatic, I'm like, what are you hiding? There's something about it.
Interesting.
But that's only with the elephant in the room is Trump. Trump is just unbelievably charismatic, and his ideas are terrible. And I wish we lived in a place where we didn't need to have these ideas marketed to us, and everybody just had enough time in the world to just Google, like there was a site available that was like, leader, all their policies, leader, all of their policies. But it's not, and it's time consuming. You need to have charisma to advertise these ideas. Some of my favorite politicians of all time have like this much charisma. Mark Carney, the current Prime Minister of Canada, he's a good guy. But he has some pretty good ideas. And he recently did a really good speech, and that made me worried. Like, you're allowed to be charismatic as a leader.
Did you see that? I think JD Vance's speech. He said, you can't. The economy is like the Titanic. You can't turn it around in overnight or whatever.
I saw that. I put it on my story.
And then
So funny. He's like, listen, you can't. They didn't just turn the Titanic around in a night. And then somebody responded to it. Was like, I think his speechwriters hate him.
because bro just says the economy is tanking in a really funny way.
There's like rules with speechwriting, and if you're talking about something that's like big but slow, Titanic is the wrong thing. Talk about like God's Godzilla, or talk about like a giant beautiful machine. Don't talk about the thing that famously crashed and sunk.
The thing that famously crashed and sunk and wasn't supposed to.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you talked about, like, when you were talking about your heart and oxygenated blood metaphor, you talked about there needs to be oxygenated blood to be pumped around, and like that is good ideas, and if there is none, then there is no blood. How would you describe it when the ideas are harmful, not just like not there, like there are like with like governments that are constantly pumping out harmful policy?
Well, so I suppose, I mean, the metaphor gets hazy, but it's like poisonous blood. It's actually, here's the thing. It's that if you do have like too much alcohol in your blood and stuff like that, it's not just that. It's not oxygenated blood. So, for instance, the comparison could be, there is a good idea that could be sold here. Like, the economy needs to be fixed. Absolutely, everybody thinks that that's a good idea. But if that good idea is being replaced with an immigration problem, then you're like, oh, okay. So, like, not only is it replacing a bad idea, but it's also flowing throughout the body. It's going to the places that it shouldn't be. Bad ideas get worse the more that they're shared, because then it provokes conversations that aren't able to talk about the bigger picture. If, like, one of the worst thing in politics is when, like Trump just badgering people with all of his bad ideas, and then people are like, oh my gosh, look at this idea, that's so bad. Oh my gosh, look at this idea, it's so bad. Oh my god, there's another one over there. And they're like following this breadcrumb, and I'm like, look up for a minute and just see the guy. And I think that it can limit the bigger picture. So it's not just that it's not just that good ideas are losing the opportunity to be in the limelight. It's that bad ideas are getting spread around when they shouldn't be.
I think that I was having a conversation with my family when we were down south in a small town, and we were talking about political ideologies, and the people who were voting for the national government and are the people who are not, like, to them there is an element of, to some people in the country there is an element of not necessarily seeing the issues and not seeing the problems, whereas to us it is so, we can see it so clearly. Like, there's no homeless population in these towns. They're not going out every day in their normal lives and seeing poverty in our country and seeing, like, the economic crash, whereas like, so for them it's understandable if you are not witnessing devastation to not necessarily see the impact that it's having. And that worries me, because those are the same people who will go through another term of not seeing the damage and then will go, well, it was fine because there wasn't this. Whereas COVID was something that impacted everyone and people had certain responses to that. I had more of a point there, but I just think that's interesting, because it's like, I do think that like, when you look at different areas of the United States and you look at some of the populations that are not suffering, the people that aren't suffering are the people that vote for the change that, yeah.
No, I understand. It's bringing it into like a New Zealand context, which can be really, really helpful, because New Zealand is a much smaller country, and so you're kind of able to bring it into the limelight. That's 100% the case. I mean, I don't think that coastal elites are destroying the country, but they are often voters that don't understand issues that are happening to them. I mean, billionaires are the same way, and people that are in rural Idaho hearing about how 2,000 homeless people are going to be allowed to have free food are like, what the hell? It was a struggle to put food on my table, and I'm actually working all the time. What's going on here? They can't see the problem. They don't think about how the problem can be fixed. And because humans are naturally problem solvers, when we hear a problem, we should be thinking of two things. One, is it actually a problem? And then if it is a problem, two, can you fix it? And if there's, if you're hazy about both of them, then you get, I don't know, something crazy like a massive anti-intellectual culture that thinks, something crazy like that, which would never happen because of the rise of social media and, lack of regulation and information spheres. Yeah,
everyone's so connected and so informed now, never.
Because we're so connected, it must be good.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think that you get, like, there's a sense of, like, with content of Trump in the first election, I remember it was like every single day with the news cycle, it was like, holy shit, this guy's batshit insane. Like, mentally, I was like, how the like, every clip I saw of him, I was like, what's going on?
First term.
And then after that, it was like, I remember my family talked about how the news, obviously obviously it's the filtration system that we have. The world is never peaceful, but it felt like the news got a lot more boring. Not boring as in boring in a way which we were happy. We were like, oh, every day there's not a headline of a new dumb speech he said or a new awful comment he's made about this certain group.
No news is good news.
No, and so almost it was like this is weird because it really proved how much of during his first term, a lot of his stuff was clickbait media of like really horrific sentences he was saying in a speech, and like that's what I remember. His first term there was some awful things that happened globally, but it did seem like a lot of his first term was just like extremism.
Yeah, his first term was actually weak sauce.
Yeah, and then I think about it now, and it's like every time, like there's moments where I'm so desensitized to him as a figure that I will see clips of him and just be listening to him, and then I'll clock back into it and I'll go, this guy is insane. And almost the only way in which I can like register what the things that he's saying is anymore is when I see parodies, because parodies are ways of like of rephrasing what he's saying in a way of me realizing again, like it was during the first term, me just being I'm so fucking bewildered at him as a person, because I'm like, how can anyone watch this and see a strong leader? How can anyone watch this and see coherence? He is so incoherent all of the time.
Yeah. I think like Donald Trump as a character has sort of eclipsed Donald Trump the president.
Yeah.
In a way,
Oh,
like
for
in
sure.
media and like also in like a lot of people's minds, because like he's a guy doing a thing. Also, he runs one of the most influential countries in the world.
But I'd argue that people don't see a coherent person. You know, they do see a character, and more than that, they see a funny character.
Yeah, exactly.
And they think, this is a funny guy. He's saying what I've said in group chats, but I've never really had the courage to say. You know what? Because the thing about comedy, what kind of goes into my larger thing about comedy and why I don't think comedy is like super important for like my kid.
Yeah.
Is that I think I find comedy like just kind of dangerous, because comedy is super important and it's super great, but it is ultimately unserious. It is the mixture between serious and unserious. And if you show me a comedy bit where you're like, well, look at this guy, look at this point, he's making a really serious point, but he's doing it through comedy. I'm looking at it, I'm saying, yeah, the point that he made was serious. And then when he did the fart noise afterwards, that was unserious. Like, you can very obviously delineate the difference between the unserious and serious part. And then the mixture of how they come together is what makes the joke funny. It pulls the rug from under you, or it reintroduces it in an interesting way, but it diverts from comedy. And that's the worrying thing about Trump, is that people go, well, where does the joke end?
Yeah.
When does it begin? There's like an unseriousness that I think is really kind of getting into the brains of these people. And it's really worrying.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting. What's interesting about comedians that try and tackle bigger issues, like I think about Bo Burnham a lot, and how so much of his work before he quit or went on hiatus was talking about like how like sort of predatory the industry was, and like how crap the comedy scene is and comedians are. But because it was just comedy, everyone's like, it's just comedy.
Yeah.
Like most of his fans are sure, a lot of his fans are like, he's Bo Burnham, he's doing deep stuff, but it's also like everyone else is like, oh, it's Bo Burnham.
Like, it's still, when you think about it, like,
The guy from YouTube Live.
but it, like his special inside, like I didn't watch that for like years until it came out, and then it was only like I think I watched it like maybe 2 years ago or something, and I remember watching it because I had heard all of the funny clips and the funny songs about tits and shit, like that had gone viral, and then obviously you'd hear like the really dark contextual songs like "Am I Going Crazy," but it's not until I watched the whole picture I was like, oh, he's actually doing quite this is not, the funniness is the funniness is in his despair. He is using his humor as a way to cope with his despair, which I think is my personal favorite type of comedy. Is not necessarily humor to cope with despair, but it's humor to articulate despair. Like, have you seen Nanette? My mind is blanking on her, but I need to Google it so I can talk about her.
The Net or Annette?
Nanette?
Nanette is the special. Nanette, Netflix.
Not the one by Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, Hannah Gadsby.
Right.
You said it as she came up on my thing. Do you know Hannah Gadsby?
I know of.
I think you should watch Nanette.
All right.
Because it's one of those ones where you're laughing the whole time. She's contextualizing the story. She's like telling you like stories of her life, like lesbian in society, like older lesbian, so has shit to say, right? And then there's a moment like 40 minutes in where like she just like breaks from her humor and just says da 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 da, devastating thing that happened to her. And it's like a punch in the gut, and we'd been laughing the whole evening, and we just go sit in silence, and we're left with this devastation. It's like it wouldn't have been the same if she'd been sitting a documentary and explaining this trauma that happened to her, but it was the way. And then she makes a joke afterwards, and it's like, I don't know, I think it's like a personal thing. It's like songwriters writing songs to help deal with their pain, using humor to help deal with your pain, but also to help other people understand that there's a pain you can feel without, like, I don't know, expressing emotion for other people so they can contextualize it for themselves, but also saying, I know you won't relate to this. I'm going to tell you this funny story and all of these jokes about my life, and I'm a funny person. But, like, at the heart of it, I got my humor because I've been through shit, and I figured out how to, like, understand myself through it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's why I think comedy should be banned.
Okay.
Ban comedy on Twitter, actually. Ban it on X. Comedy is now... Me as the opposite of Elon Musk. Comedy is now banned on Twitter.
What did you think? You saw comedy recently, though.
I did. I went and saw John Marcus Cerezi.
How was
It
that?
was really funny.
Yeah?
You know why? It's because I what do the kids say? Dissociated. I've never in my life... I never thought that I'd imagine him looking down at somebody in the thing and going, David Seymour, yeah? It was crazy.
Whoa.
Like, obviously he would ask you about the political, government here. You ever, think of somebody as a traitor and hate them forever?
Yeah.
Somebody in the audience was like, oh, yeah, we call them the Coalition of Chaos.
No, the fuck we don't. Who the fuck?
The adults do it. I've seen it on the YouTube.
No, we don't, brother.
Well,
Coalition. I heard groans. People were like,
good.
oh. And then he rightly was like, I think you guys should really
Not.
move away from the Lord of the Rings adjectives. And it's true, because he did research on it, and he's like, I learned so much about your guys' country, and it's not just Lord of the Rings, turns out, but that's how you guys advertise yourself to the world. And I'm like, yes, please, it's true. Every single time I love Lord of the Rings. Everybody loves Lord of the Rings, but I'm just sick and tired of it being advertised that way. I'm sick and tired of when somebody says, oh yeah, New Zealand food, pavlova. I just don't care. It doesn't taste that good. It doesn't taste good enough for us to forget about traditional Maori food. It doesn't taste that good.
Whenever people are like, beautiful spots to visit in New Zealand, and it's just the Lord of the Rings sites, I'm like, dude, there are so many more gorgeous places.
Sometimes I used to be like, okay, I get the hate on Auckland. It's fair enough.
Yeah,
I
we
hate it
deserve
more
it.
every day, right? But I still love it here, and I'm still leaving, so I still have some sense of pride for it, in a way of like, it's not that bad. Like, it's still worth being here for me. But then there's been a few times I've flown to Queenstown recently, and we never used to be a Queenstown daughter family, but we really like the surrounding area, so we flew into Queenstown. And when you get off a plane in Queenstown, you get off the plane, the air is the freshest, most crispest air you've ever breathed in your life, and you're
So
surrounded
good.
by mountains.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've said to them, I was like, you know what, if someone, like, if I had to tell someone to fly into Queenstown over Queenstown is not New Zealand, but okay.
It's just not.
But Queenstown has been so touristified that they have food chain restaurants there that don't exist anywhere else in this country.
Wait, what do they have?
I don't know, but I remember going, that's not the rest of us, like, it is there is giant malls there that are not it does you could go there and you can feel like you're in a different country. It doesn't feel like New Zealand as a culture. Doesn't feel like culture at all, but but in terms of landscape, go there before coming to Auckland Airport and driving 30 minutes into the city, and then go, like,
Yeah.
you know,
I 100% agree. It has such a fresh air. You get out at the airport and it smells, because there's one of my favorite woods ever. There's a rain shadow, which is that there are tall mountains that are so tall, and it's a relatively arid area, although there are some lakes there. And it's really flat, of course, near where the airport is, because otherwise it would be a bit tricky. Oh, sorry. Be a bit tricky landing. But there's a rain shadow there, which means that it's like the way that the wind works with heat rising, that allows for weirdly dependable weather down there. and it has this like natural filtration system of the air regularly, which means it's quite windy down there. Not like Wellington level, but it's quite windy down there, and so you just get the cleanest air.
It's so clean, bro.
It's so cool and it's so clean and it's beautiful. I mean, you look right there, boom, Pinnacles. It's like right there. It's like beautiful.
I love it so much.
It's so nice. We did a road trip, a few years ago, going from the like Nelson tip of the South Island to. We didn't go all the way down, but we went pretty far down. And the couple days that we spent around like Queenstown and like Lake Tekapo, especially, I was like, I could never live here, but I could stay here forever.
Yeah.
You know?
That's my thing, is that I know as a person, it's like I can't leave the city based on the lifestyle I crave and the lifestyle I want. But my life is either going to be living in the city and living a city lifestyle, or living in a cabin in the bush with a river right there.
If I win Powerball, you're never seeing me again because I'm moving to the bush and not talking to anyone.
Luke's gonna buy a yurt next to ours.
I really fucking
next to a creek as well.
Like we were staying in a place in Karangahake Gorge, and it's pretty intense because Karangahake Gorge has got, like, with all the Coromandel flooding, like Karangahake Gorge has suffered a lot, along with everywhere else there, and I'm deeply saddened. But we were there just before it happened, and we were staying down by the Karangahake River, and it's literally a 2-minute walk from the place we're staying down to the water. And I was just thinking, it's like such fresh water, and I was like, this would significantly improve my life at an astronomical level. To just middle of the day, I am restless, I can't work, I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna go to the river, I'm gonna have a swim, wake up, I don't need to shower, I can just go have a little swim in the river, start my day that way. It would change my life, that level of like peace and like access to fresh water. And I'm like, oh, I need that so bad.
Yeah, like a beach is one thing, but like having a river or a lake, especially near a place that you're staying or living, it's like, life.
Yeah.
I think it's time we pop the question.
Yes.
Ben, will you marry me and Lucas?
I'll have to consult my beautiful, gorgeous partner. If I did, yeah.
Okay, cool. How would you say we have a kid in the future, right?
We
have a kid in the future, and you're in their life. How would you make their life better?
Rules.
Which ones?
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I believe is the best system in like a family. It's one in which you know that the entire family is working together. So if you're able to inundate your child at some point with the knowledge that you are first and foremost in a team that's going to uplift you, love you, look after you, care for you, feed you, then that child will feel loved. I think, hugs and kisses go a long way, but also it's hugs and kisses as part of a family unit. And what I would give to your child is rational, understandable, cohesive, and most importantly, universal for the family, familial rules. Okay. Rules everywhere. Rules on the fridge. Rules on the, the magnets on the fridge. Rules on the door knockers. Rules on everywhere. And the rules wouldn't be like, clean your room because I told you to do it. It's like, clean your room because your room smells nicer when you clean it. It looks a bit nicer. And it's going to make it so that once you've done that, and you've done your other chores, and you've done your homework, video games are going to feel so good. So what I'm going to give to your child is just the joy and love and sense of having rules everywhere. And the best part is, everyone follows the rules.
But what if everyone doesn't?
I'm afraid that's the sacrifice, is that you got to follow the rules. For the same reason, your mum and dad should, or your mum and mum, or your dad and dad, you can never tell nowadays, they should be cleaning the room because it's better, it smells nicer, it looks nicer. I'm not going to say, well, what if somebody comes over and sees your bed being unmade? Because that, as a rule, as a child, never inspired me to want to make my room.
Like,
who's coming in?
I've never made my bed.
Hey, listen here. Go back to your place, baby, rather than making fun of mine. But to me, I think one of the most sustainable things is to have like sustainable and rational rules that they can immediately understand the purpose of. The other thing is, how do you enforce these rules?
You a fan of beating kids? Sorry.
Beat them. No, I'm anti-beating in general.
Fucking hell.
Unless it's a beat off.
What the fuck?
But sorry, I just need to clarify. Beat off is when you.
Oh yeah, your beautiful partner sent me.
Oh yeah, I beat off with my partner. Last night we did a beat off. Oh no, it was the night before that.
So that before, yeah.
Beat off is great. It's really good fun. You can do it with anybody. You can do it with your friends, family.
I could not do it with any of my
I always
friends
wanted to
'cause
beat
they
off
do
with you.
music. I want to beat off with you too, but all my other friends do music already, so they would have an unfair advantage.
Well, you heard what we heard, what we said.
It was great. Was that you making it together? Or was
That
it
was
just,
beat off.
Ah.
She beat. So, my partner sent
Sent me a video.
sent you the product
beating
of our
off.
beat off.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was illustrious.
It was great.
A beat off is when it's a competition when you make a music beat with another person. Okay, get your mind out of the gutter. Okay, jeez, Molly, you can never tell nowadays.
Whether someone's mind's in the gutter or not.
Never.
I like that you went to give them.
Don't even want to ask their gender. Thank you. No. So. What are you
we were talking about beating kids.
Beating kids.
Yeah.
Beating
No.
kids. No. You know what I would do is that I would be a cringy dad.
Oh yeah.
I'd be a cringy dad, and I'd say, if you don't do this,
I'm gonna embarrass you.
if you don't do this, then I'm gonna do it with you. It's gonna take twice as long, and you're gonna have to hear my dad jokes. Because punishments don't have to be cruel; they can just be slightly annoying.
Yeah.
That's a much better example of a punishment.
So you doesn't like a punishment.
No, trying to get any kind of comfort right now.
Laughing so much that my throat is dry.
I know. I see it from your audio track.
But yeah.
It's
Not saying stuff. That's the only reason mine's so low.
I'm green.
Oh.
I'm green today, chat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know why
I don't know
thought
what the
it was
deal
green.
is. I'm also gonna yellowing.
I absolutely would not hit our children, yell at our children.
I know
anything
you
like
wouldn't.
that. Not just because it's bad,
If you said you would,
but
we'd
because
kick
it's
you
just
off.
ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
If I want them to follow rules, here's my utopian thinking that absolutely doesn't work. If the rule makes sense, they're more likely to follow it.
No, that's real.
If I say, clean your room, and they go, why? I say, because I told you to. There's a reason, there's a rationale, there might even be a punishment at the end, but it's not a rational, the rule doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, it's not a sustainable rule. It doesn't make, it's not that telling them that I believe in this also. It's not telling them, and then I'm going to go make my bed because I told myself to. You know, like, that doesn't make any sense. It implies you have to tidy your room, and I can do what I want, which may be tidying my room. Like, there's no finality to it, there's nothing. I would try and imbue them a sense of rationality, and, you know, there is going to be some punishment, if not.
So I'm a firm believer in realistic consequences. So if I found out that my kid was being mean to other kids on social media, right, I would remove their access to social media and their devices, because that's a I wouldn't do it in a certain way of being like taking away your connection, but it would be like, I think that there is a benefit to sometimes it goes too far, but I think there's a benefit. Why would you ground your child for something that has nothing to do with whether they stay home or not?
Yeah.
Right? Like ground like standardized punishment of, you did this thing wrong, this was your punishment. You did this wrong, same punishment. It like
So you grabbing their collar? That's your punishment.
So my question is, like, what would your would you have rational consequences for the crime?
Absolutely.
Never do timeout.
So
I've never had time.
I've had one punishment in my entire life.
That makes so much sense.
Okay, thank you. Well, here's the thing, is that I want to practice what I preach, and I want to say that I was a child that was never really had any punishments, and I'll admit it has shown. I'm not, I don't have as high work ethic as I should. I'm lazier than I should be. But, you know, the good side is that I love my parents. They're fantastic. They're wonderful people. They're the kindest people I've ever met. You know, my mum and my dad are fantastic, and I love my siblings as well.
Let's
And
get them all in there.
the cat. the 2 extra cats that we have as well. And like for me, I see that there was some negatives in that. I've been punished to my memory twice, which was when what was it? I said something like rude to a neighbor that was like hanging over at our house, or like so I like asked what their age was, something like that. And then my mum like whacked me on the elbow, and I was like, because I've never been whacked on the elbow, and I was like, it was like this. It was nothing. It wasn't like an impact crater. And then my mum immediately apologized because me and her are like hyper guilty. It's so funny. And the only other time was when my dad sent me to my room, and I talked to my partner about this all the time, and they found it so fucking funny. Is that my dad, like me and him were like having this kind of, because we argue, we're like, whoa, and then he was like, off to your room, go to your room, and I was like, what? Go to your room. I was like, okay. So I walked to my room, and then I just kind of sat down in there in my beanbag, and I just like, and then I should maybe 10 minutes later, he came back and he was like, so did you learn? I was like, what? And he's like, did you learn your lesson? And I was like,
No.
no, I said yes. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
You gotta say yes.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, my
This
parents
really
used
helped
to.
me figure out what was
like,
going on.
I agree with you now. I don't blame my dad for doing that.
But that's an
I would have
interesting-
said, if I didn't have experience punishing my children, I would have done the same thing, because it's like it's like awkward. And at this point, I was starting to be taller than him. I was like 13.
Yeah, my parents used to love timeout. We would go sit on they would be like, go sit on the stairs. Stairs in like the middle of the house and go up to the living room.
We've never had stairs.
You'd have to sit, You'd have to sit on the stairs for the same amount of minutes as you were old. So as you got older, it got worse.
That's
so
crazy.
At one point, I got time out when I was like 16 or something crazy, and I was like, "What the hell are we doing? I'm sitting on these stairs for 16 minutes,
Just 'cause I'm 16?
alone in my thoughts, just with no phone, no nothing, and you just have to sit there." I have been almost in tears on those stairs more times than I have in my bedroom, because I'm like, now I'm in trouble.
Also, your bedroom could be a place of comfort.
I think it's an interesting thing, because wait, I had a great point. We're talking about
We believe you.
timeout and
Rational punishment.
Being
Okay.
cringe.
being cringe. I think that if you it's coming back to me. I'm just gonna start talking and then I'll form the point.
Top 10 things you're not.
Okay. Rational punishment, punishing your children.
Okay.
Punishment if it's a crime.
If you're
Beating kids.
here we go. I think it's an interesting.
I got it.
I think it's an interesting thing where it's like, in that scenario, when you're having an argument with your child and you're sending them away, it's like there's a sense of power dynamic which exists because they are your parent and they're in charge of keeping you safe. But in terms of, it is my call now that you have to go and leave this argument, that you are the one that has to step away and go and take time when there are situations where it is a mutual issue. And I think that it's damaging to put that on a child and go, it's your fault, we're in this argument because you've done something bad, but I'm arguing with you because I don't agree with it. It's like, your punishment now is to go and be alone in your thoughts because we're not going to keep having this conversation, but that's your fault. I think it's more like what is the goal there? Is the goal, it's like have you learnt your lesson? Do you now agree with me? It's not like let's figure out where we disagree and rationalize that. Sometimes that's not possible in a heated argument, but it's like the goal is still sometimes for you to always agree with your parent, which is not necessarily a feasible end game because that's not going to work. You need to come to a conclusion where you can both understand what went wrong, but that you don't always need to, like, I don't think it should be that the kid always has to find agreement with the parent, or if the goal is always to make your kid change their own opinion.
Yeah.
What you're going to send them to their room so they can think about the fact that you are correct, and because you're older and bigger and you know better than them, that makes them wrong.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
It is weird.
It's also given me a really great idea.
Okay.
Which is which is like, if they're talking to me and they're like, I don't want to do this. I'm sick and tired of doing this. I don't want to do it. Like, why do I always have to do the washing? And then, Montgomery only has to, it's probably how crazy names, don't worry. Montgomery, just goes wiping the table so quicker. I'd be like, this is a great conversation.
I've pulled this out multiple times with my parents.
Yeah, so great.
Because
I haven't met Montgomery. But I'd be like, for me, I'd go, because it's true. And oh my God, the one thing that I really hope I really hope me and my partner do is make sure that every single child gets an equal amount of work. Because I just simply cannot be bothered and totally understand the annoyance. It will make them just more angry towards you, less likely to do their chores, this and that, if you allow one of the kids for no reason to get off scot-free.
Yeah, because
just divide it into thirds and twice.
The way it used to work in my house, I've got an older sister, and it used to be sort of like every chore is sort of like the household chores, like doing the dishwasher and cooking and stuff. It's like, yeah, you do it X amount of times, it's sort of like known. But I feed the cats in the night, and she feeds the cats in the morning, and that was the thing. And then she started working a job that meant that she wasn't getting up in the mornings. So my parents took feeding the cats in the morning, and she was meant to just do the dishwasher now. That was her job. And then she just wouldn't do it. And then my dad would be like, hey, can you do the dishwasher? And I'm like, it's not my job. And I started to get really just annoyed every single time, because it's like, okay, she's doing nothing, and I'm feeding the cat every night. So,
It's so annoying. And then it kind of breeds resentment. What I wouldn't do as a parent, I mean, like, what I would hope to do as a parent is to treat that as a number one issue. Because I think that is serious. Because otherwise it's harboring resentment between the children, it's harboring resentment to the glorious rules, and it's harboring resentment towards, the parents, and, like, nobody's going to enjoy that.
Yeah,
That's what I hope I do. So that's my serious thing that I would give to you guys. Is I would for your child and you, and for your child,
you'd make us do the rules.
I would try and give you. I try and give your child rules, classic rules, with rational reasoning behind them, and a love for rules. That's what I try, because rules are good, and we are a team. We are a team, and we love each other. And I think that rules, formal or informal, are good for family.
So you kind of want to instill trust in our kid. You want to get the kid to trust us that we know what's sort of...
Because there's a mutual trust for the rules, yeah.
Yeah.
For a system as well. I think that's one of the things that I think was done well with my parenting, is it less of a... Like, I am a habitually messy person and I hate it, but my spaces and their state reflects my mental state. So when I have too much going on and I can't cope, my room is a mess, and it makes it worse. And when I clean my room, I feel better, but I can't clean my room until I start to feel better. It has to be on the upwards, because I need to have my executive function dysfunction that it gets so bad that I will lie on my bed all day on the day I meant to clean my room. I was meant to clean my room yesterday. I folded all of my t-shirts. That's probably all I did. So it's like I chose another task to do it, and I think that one of the things, it's like, because I'm an only child, sometimes it was like, are these all of the, like, I don't want to have to do all of the, like, I do my own washing, and I help with washing now, but washing was my thing. It was always like dishwasher was mainly the thing, and unloading the dishwasher. And there's an understanding that I wasn't good with food scraps, so I didn't have to load the dishwasher, but I always unloaded it. But I think that there was definitely points where I was like, I was in a stroppy mood because I'm tired and I don't want to have to do what feels like more chores, but it's that realization that I am still doing so much less than my parents because they're keeping the house running. But there's not it's a difference, because I'm not comparing it to a sibling who's doing the similar amount or not doing enough. It feels like I'm doing all of this work. But I think especially now that I'm an adult living in this house still, like, partly, and I need to be better at it because I'm not good at it. However, like, there's an understanding that this is the space that we all share, and for common spaces, like, we are all sharing this space, so there is a responsibility on all of us to keep it going. And I'm usually the one that makes the lounge messy, so I should be the one cleaning up the lounge. And if I'm baking in the kitchen, I need to make sure that that's clean, so it's a baseline, because it's like and so I think that it's like, that's the thing of, we are a team. We are coexisting. So my room being messy and it being a reflection of my mental is not an issue with, it's something that I need to self-discipline myself on. And I always hated it when my parents were like, you should clean your room because it's a mess. I know it's a mess. I am living in it, but I also know that I can't do this. Like, my auntie came into my house once and she was like, I'm going to sit with you and we're going to clean your room together, which is beneficial to me. But sometimes I just need to be left alone, and I need to do it on the day that I can do it, which might not be for another 2 weeks, because that's just what my life is like. But communal spaces, we are a team and we will keep this house running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of my, like, disdain towards My sister. No, I love my sister. She's great. But I think a lot of my disdain towards my sister just comes from her not doing, like, household chores. Like, not even household chores that are, like, implicit and never talked about. Household chores that are talked about constantly. Like, after you have a shower... Like, okay, you're opening a wound here, trust.
Here we go.
Like, whenever we finish a shower, you hang the bath mat over the shower wall, right?
Yeah.
She never does it. When dinner's done, you help my dad take the stuff off the table. She doesn't do that.
That's actually crazy. Because everybody's there.
Yeah, literally.
Just to get up and then leave.
Like, yeah, she'll take her plate and her knife and fork off because that's, but she won't take she'll just fuck off. And it's like, this is fine, and I kind of, I guess, understand, but I'm also like, I need to leave this house because of you are a bad roommate, and that is not my one reason, but it's my main reason. Great sister, horrible roommate is how I've told her to her face she is.
That's so nice.
Yep, we had to literally get a plumber in because she would never clear her hair out of the bathroom drain, and it got so bad. And that's
I put my hair on the shower wall, and then I also.
You draw with it? Do you draw with it?
No.
Oh.
I pull it
Do
out.
you?
No, I don't even know. I don't. What draw? What is that?
I put my hair on the shower wall in clumps, and then at some point I bring it all together into one lump and I go and put it in the toilet.
And that's super real of you, because you're not sharing a shower with your younger brother and using his hairbrush as well. Are you?
And eating hair and licking his hair. You're not doing that, are you?
She's drawing with your hair on the shower wall.
Tiny little drawings.
Okay, so you said you had one serious and one.
Yeah, I was about to say I have an unserious one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
So the serious one is that I want to kind of imbue a trust of and love of rules, mutual, rational.
It's good that you brought that up because we hadn't had the discipline conversation yet, but we will.
Mutual, cohesive, rational rules that are everybody
Rational
understand.
rules.
And sustainable. That'll be it. Mutual, sustainable, rational. MSR. MRS. That's nothing else, is it?
No, definitely not.
I think it's like.
Is it a Formula One thing?
I think it's
don't
an
No, that's
autoimmune
DRS.
disorder.
It's
MRS.
isn't
Medical
it a
research, something like that.
disease?
Mrs.
No.
Oh my god, I got to think about my
Holy shit, what's
partner.
that woman?
I'm obsessed with my partner. Oh no,
Oh,
Ned
God,
Palmer.
no,
Oh no.
God.
A person's wife.
You are Eugene.
There is a disease that's similar.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I have my unserious one.
Yes.
My unserious one is that my partner flagrantly disagrees with.
That's a besides.
Okay, so we both want to imbue a sense of reading into our child, make them enjoy reading.
Thank
Not-
God.
Maybe not love reading. They don't have to love reading, but enjoy reading. Relaxing them, making them, better literacy, all this other stuff. No fiction.
What?
What?
I want no fiction in the house.
No fiction in the house at all?
I want none.
Why? Just only non-fiction.
I want them to read non-fictional text, and that includes religion.
the entire time,
Yeah,
the whole time.
they can buy a book if they want. I mean, they can go to the store and buy a book.
But you're not supplying them.
I'm not reading it to them. I'm not. listening
This
to
is
it.
crazy.
So their bedtime story is like how
The
people
Bible.
decide. Oh, yeah.
So the Bible is
Okay.
fictional or non-fiction.
Okay. I'd like to think of myself as a stone cold atheist,
Mm-hmm.
but you read the Bible and no part of that is fun fiction. It reads like non-fiction.
Oh yeah. That's
And
why
I think
gave
it's an
up on
important. I think it's an important text, not one that I personally agree with, but I think it's an important text. So I would, I'd read some bits. I
Do
wanna
you
go
not
through
believe that some fictional texts are historically important because there is a perspective that is shown through a person's mindset, but it's historical fiction.
it. You're right. It's up to me.
Yeah. It's
Song for Achilles
It's our house actually, and he's giving.
is a song of. Yeah, did you read it?
yes.
I'd love to mug you if you're like, no. No, you haven't.
You've read a passage of it to me.
Yeah, Song of the Achilles. That's a great book. And there's something about it. Because that is a fictional retelling of a myth. So it's kind of fiction wrapped in fiction. But it is a really important text. And so I would be like, yeah, that would be the most fictional I'd allow them.
Where
No
does
hungry
that-
caterpillar.
Huh?
No hungry caterpillar.
Of course, I'd read that in The Hungry Caterpillar.
That's non-fiction, CK.
Caterpillars get hungry.
What
Are you
about Harry
crazy?
McClary and Robinson?
Harry McClary's good
But it's not allowed.
because dogs talk. But I just don't want to,
Where does like mythology fall in this? Like, would you let them
The
read,
mo- that would be
medieval
the-
Norse myths?
That would be the most. Oh, the Norse myths. Okay.
What did you think I meant when I said mythology?
Well, I just think Greek, like immediately.
Oh, right.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're fine. There's no reason for me to have been surprised there. I'm just surprised at everything you say. But there's a compliment there somewhere.
I think cultural mythology is non-fiction.
Cultural mythology. Yes, that's a great way of putting it. For me, so here's the reasoning of all of this.
Is he dead?
And you're gonna slowly figure out why this is a bad idea, but that's why it's so great.
Yeah.
Is that for me? I love a
Oh.
book. I love a text that's applicable. If they can read Norse mythology and understand how that applies in some ways to modern, Nordic culture, or how it applies to the Nordic school system, it still teaches these things, or it applies to things that we see in everyday life, even like the Bluetooth logo. Like, all of these things are applicable, and they make cool, fun facts. They allow you to engage your brain in a way that you're able to connect things in real life that you see all the time. I love it. And historical books, straight up historical books. History of England that I'm reading currently, part 5, called Dominion. That's a banger. CK. Even historical fiction where it's like, okay, sure, 2 characters aren't real, but everything
Wuthering
else.
Heights.
Okay, so I know Wuthering Heights, but I don't know Wuthering Heights.
That's real.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. Where I disagree is I think there is culture and history and relevantness that you can get from non-fiction books. I think that I totally agree. I am a champion for historical literature. But I do think that in terms of a person's own psyche and raising them, identity is important, and you gain identity through reading about other people's identities.
Well, it's
I
true.
think
They'll
that,
have the Guinness Book of World Records. It's
That'll
fine.
be a big world records.
but I mean,
And
like,
he split those apples with his nostrils.
I mean, a count of emotion. You might get in a historical fiction, like historical. I think that if I'm reading a book where, like, I read so much Jacqueline Wilson as a kid. She was my favorite author. Every single one of her books is about like family trauma, but like disguised as like this girl's like upbringing, and like my favorite book was Hetty Feather. She was like a foundling child who like went through all this shit. But one of the books is My Sister Jodie, where, spoilers, her sister dies at the end of the book. And there's like another book, Vicky Angel, where her best friend dies at the side of the book. There's one where her mum is a bipolar schizophrenic and like threatens to kill herself in front of her child. Like there are things that I was reading and I was like, I understood personalities and I understood a pain in a way that like it was, they were framing it as someone my age was dealing with this, and I was like, oh, that's like really intense. And I think that is more relatable and understandable in a fictional sense than if I were to read about those people existing, and like if I read an article about a kid dying and or the foster system, I'm not going to understand the foster system as well as if I'm reading a fictional perspective based on, like, I mean, I'm not understanding it well with my fictional perspective, but I understand the emotions that could be drawn from it.
But what if there was someone who wrote a really beautiful non-fiction memoir or like autobiography about their experience in the foster system?
Yeah.
But if my kid grows up reading autobiographies, I'm bullying them.
Not biographies.
No. It's it'd be light bullying. No.
Healthy bullying.
So your actual point is you're going to lightly bully your child?
Only if they read biographies.
It's a
and
bad
autobiographies.
take, but it's one that I think for me, because I'm not a huge reader, but my partner is a huge reader. Absolutely loves reading. And I think it's for me, I think this is kind of like something that I was talking to them about, is that if you really like a work of art, video games, movies, docos or books or audiobooks, shouts out to the borrowers. If you are like into that and you really like it, it goes from desperately trying to find what's applicable about this to this is my escape. And that's what I've always thought. So for books, I'm not a huge reader. So when I read a book, it needs to be either a classic or history, so I can immediately apply it.
So one of
But
your
if it's
issues is escapism.
Huh?
You one of your issues in this is escapism.
I have no escapism for books. I only when I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt was I like, oh my gosh, I get it. I was reading like 60 pages a day.
When you know that? Have you seen that scale where it's like imagine an apple and it's like full picture? Or
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely a spectrum.
Aphantasia.
Yeah, like
so-
what's your vibes on that? Like
What am I on that?
where do you fall on that?
I full visualized apple,
Okay.
the color, the taste, the texture, everything. I have a very vivid imagination.
It's
Okay,
interesting
cool.
for me when people when I talk about that because I'm like freaked out because I can in my brain up here I can picture the apple but I'm not seeing it here.
You kind of see it though.
You kind of a little bit.
Oh, I mean,
Like,
you might
in
not.
a really faint
Yeah.
way. It's like not there. It's not in my black mind palace.
Yeah, but it's
in my mind palace. But when some people are like they don't picture it. They just know what an apple is contextually. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know apples.
Yeah, I've heard them.
Yeah, I saw them at that party.
Yeah.
They were at that party. They were with Pear,
When
Yeah,
when
'cause
my new
Cara
friend
has-
apples.
hanging out at the bowl. Yo,
Because Carter
yo,
has
cherry.
like basic like quote unquote full aphantasia where you like can't visualize shit.
That
at
actually
all.
doesn't surprise me at all.
Wait.
And I love you to
I'm gonna
bits.
tell her. Oh yeah.
He's
I
gonna
was gonna say I'm gonna tell him you said that, but it's
I'm doxing him.
no. And so when we were designing his character for my campaign, it's
It's
like
his
visually
face.
it's based off of him because he like he didn't really know how to visualize
There's a
it
sticker
otherwise.
of Carter with horns on my wall.
Yeah. Literally the art that I got of him, it's
Horny
basically it's just Carter in a Red Bull polo.
You got honey card on your wall.
He wishes.
Expand on that.
It's interesting because as a kid, my love for reading has been fucked up by fast consumable internet content, and I resent it. But like reading was my number one personality trait when I was a child, and I think that escapism in fiction was one of my favorite things because I felt like I was such a well-rounded. I felt like I had taken in so many stories, and I love historical fiction. My favorite type of books overall in my life are historical fiction, where it has like I'm learning about history. One of my favorite books is like Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which is like about queer people in 1950s New York, in Chinatown. I really enjoyed that because it's like it's based on author experience and author's understanding, but it is a fictional story. It's not her story, it's a character story, so she can include. I think it's beneficial to in your life. You might within a story you can bring together several elements that will help paint an understanding for the audience that you might not have experienced, but you had your friends experience or you want to be able to include in this storyline. I think that's interesting. But I also like one of the dangers of it, which I kind of get, is that my escapism was I survived in this fictional world that when a book ended it would make me depressed because I didn't get to experience that world anymore.
Whoa.
Like not severely depressed. But I
Hollow.
remember there was one time I was walking. I also was someone who would be literally reading walking down the street. Like I'd be holding a book. My parents would have to like guide me. Like I would never stop reading. I'd be reading in the car. I'd be reading on the way to the restaurant. I'd be reading in the restaurant. I remember reading at school one time. I was reading this book about these triplets, and it was from Jacqueline Wilson, but it was one story instead of a series. And she had a lot of series, but this was just one. And I remember reading the last like 10 pages and like getting really anxious because I knew that when I got to the end of the book, I was out of the story and I'd have to like find another thing to get into to like have that, you know. I was like, oh, I get so attached to these worlds that I feel like I'm in them, and then when they end, I'm no longer. I don't get to be in that world anymore. Their life gets, it's like my parallels with my fear of death. The life in the book gets to continue on. This fictional world, it gets to continue on with their story, and I don't get to know what happens. I hate the thought of not knowing what happens in my future after I die. That's one of my biggest fears, is going,
Really?
Do you feel the same way about television shows like getting cancelled?
somewhat, but less so when they get cancelled, but sometimes even when they end. Because like it's like I want to know if the ending is unsatisfying, but also when they get cancelled, it's like if I'm super invested, it's like I have grown an attachment to your character and I want to know what happens in your future.
Do you have a fear of death?
Oh, we've talked about this, Ben.
Big fear of death?
Massive fear of death. We know this.
I have no fear of death.
Neither.
Is it? I thought who has
I
the fear of
am
death?
scared
It's
of
not
dying
you.
alone, but I don't have a fear of death per
Oh,
se.
someone else. has fear of death.
I'm very much okay. Well, actually, no. My dad is like another level of this, where he's like, I don't even care what my funeral is or where I'm buried. I don't care if I die alone or with people.
My dad wants the least what's the word, hassle, like least.
Well, your dad's charitable. My dad just doesn't care.
but to him, he's like it's more so. He's like, it doesn't.
Least
I'm not
intricate?
there. I'm not there for it. It doesn't matter what it is. It's what you need.
Yeah.
Kind of in that
Yeah.
way. It's like doesn't matter to me what my funeral is like because I'm not there.
Yeah.
No, I have a crippling fear of death, and it's one of those things where I can't talk or think about it too much because I'll have a panic attack.
For sure.
But like a lot of it is based on like I'm a firm atheist, so I can't believe in an afterlife, but I hate the idea of there being nothing, and it like contextualizes it as like when I die I will have forgotten everything, and nothing will have ever been real because my existence is just a blip.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
I'd consider myself kind of an enlightened atheist. There's a better term for it, but for me, I'm the same way where I'm like, yep, just a little blip, but I'm like, that's so beautiful. I love being a tiny little twinkle in the night sky, and then in about 10 billion years or so, all those lights will be wiped out. That's beautiful to me. I like
It is
that.
beautiful, but it scares the fuck out of me. And I can't rationalize why it scares the fuck out of me, but it just terrifies me because it's like my only way that I can break myself out of this fear loop is going, I'm young, theoretically I have a lot more time before I have to deal with this thought process. But every day I become older and closer to death, and I could die tomorrow.
It's Carter.
Huh? And also someone from To the Front. Yeah.
I think it's highly rational. Everything in our biology should be pushing us to be afraid of death. Absolutely everything. People that are suicidal, it is an anomaly. Every single part of our species evolution is don't die, don't kill yourself, don't do it. So for somebody to be suicidal, it shows something deeply wrong.
It's interesting to me because I one of the things within my own mental health is that there are times where I'm very sad, but I seek it's a weird comfort. I know this could change based on hormone levels and could change based on life circumstances, but I'm always like I will never be 100% suicidal because of my crippling fear of death will prevent me from it's where like that.
Right, phrasing it as 100% suicidal is really funny to think about.
But my suicidal has been counteracted by my crippling anxiety.
I'm just suicidal on my dad's side.
Thank God. That's that one.
What was suicidal you right now? But I also there was something else also. But the only time I've ever been like the moments I get closest to that thought process, which is something I block. I have a mental block towards that thought process because it right? But the time when I get closest to that is when I am in such severe pain, because I have points of my cycle where I'm in like such severe pain where I'm like, the only feasible way for this pain to end is for me to not feel anything. And then when I feel that, I go, and then I, think about something else. But it's like, yeah, it's interesting. And then I think about that contextually. It's like my physical pain gets to a point so intense that I'm like, oh, I understand how this relates to I understand how people get like this, because it's like if the mental pain is so severe that you're like the only way to escape this mental pain is to escape it completely, because you can't stop the pain. Therefore there's like I'm in severe pain, I've taken all the max painkillers, I'm sitting there like there is nothing to fix this. So so it's like that's my closest rationale, because I can't imagine it because of my fear of death. That's where I get to go, oh, I understand this. I can sympathize with this now, even though it's not the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have to put a trigger warning over this.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
We've gone to a lot of topics. It's great. This is my ideal conversation. Like, kind of like religion and like, natural, have been selected in some kind of ways. That's the stuff that really, 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 really interests me.
I think it'll be interesting in terms of if I'm raising a child. If my child has the same fear of death that I do, I don't know how to comfort them. Because how can I maybe it's the comforting going, I feel the same way. It is scary. But doubly, it's like, I have no logical rationale to go, it's going to be fine. Like, everyone dies. Because I don't want to, like
You don't
I
want
don't.
to.
I want to ideally, hopefully, have a healthier like mental response to death for my child. But there's no. You can't ever program someone's own response to the end of their life. But it's like for me, I block it out. Whereas but I couldn't engage in, like if my child was like, I want to talk about it like deeply and wants to, like, I'd be like, I don't know if I could have that conversation. Maybe by the time I'm the age I'm having kids, it'll be easier for me. But it's like, ooh.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm so almost completely opposite that, because I feel like in a way I'm sort of apathetic towards death. Like, my cat died last week. I don't know if you know this.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
Ginger died last week.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
That is chill. But, well, it's not chill, but it's chill. And it was so interesting because, like, I kind of mentioned it, like, vaguely in the last episode we filmed, but I didn't, like,
say what
mention
happened.
it.
We were just like the thing that happened.
Yeah. And I like in my mind I'd already sort of pre-grieved it because I knew it was going to happen, and then he was just, like, gone, and now life moves on. And it's like, I also feel like I've been to so many funerals as a child because we have a very large, we don't have a super large family, but, like, I have a lot of, like, half cousins or, like, half uncles and aunts and stuff. So I've been to a lot of funerals in my life that it's just sort of like, yeah, it's a funeral.
I do think that there's a difference. Like, I've been to a lot of funerals. I've had some close family members die when I was too young to really properly understand or grieve, and I've had not close family members die at an age where I could grieve. But again, when I'm at those funerals, like, I was at a family friend's funeral who was my granddad's best friend, and I knew my granddad as a kid, and then he died, and I don't have too many memories of that. I have a few, and they're special, but, like, for me, when this person died and I was crying at the funeral, my emotional response was due to seeing people I care about sad, and doubly, I was like, this is partly a chance for me to grieve the fact that my granddad is dead and I don't know him, because it's like people were talking about him, and, like, I'm like, okay, this is this is like a thing. But I think I still have yet to, and, like, I really hope it doesn't happen to me anytime soon, but it will at some point, have someone in my close personal sphere die that would that would really disrupt my life. There has been not a death in my family or my life that has destroyed me, and I know that there will be deaths that are like that, because that's the way of life. And it's like a fear of when that happens, because I haven't yet learned how to cope with significant death. It'll be weird.
It will.
But everyone goes through it, and people have it. People lose a lot younger than we have, but significant deaths in it. So it's interesting. It's like I've seen some people talk online about how it can be beneficial to lose young because you are more equipped to deal with it. But then people talk about how, so if you're in your mid-20s and you lose someone significant for the first time in your life and you don't know how to handle it because you've never had to do it before.
There was this really interesting, I think it was in the Red, White and Royal Blue book.
No, I'm not laughing. No part of me is laughing at that. I'm not laughing at that.
And there was this really interesting metaphor where they're talking about, because one of the characters in that book, he lost his dad really young. And there's this really interesting metaphor where they're talking about grief and how it's like you sort of have a level, and if you, like, lose someone that you're really close to when you're younger, that level is sort of like, it's already lower than most people's. So, like, when you're, I haven't reread this book in far too long.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so you sort of go through life having that, I'm sure it was a metaphor about a fucking baking dish or some British crap. But about how, like, people...
One day you go in the oven, you don't come out. And that's like, innit? And they're like, oh my god, man, you done it again.
Oh my god, you done it. But yeah, talking about how it's like the depth of feeling or the depth of grief is so much, like, it's easier for people who've lost someone young to, like, feel that depth of grief than it is for someone who's, like, lost someone young when they were, like, old enough to, like, sort of pick apart their own feelings about it.
Yeah.
And I haven't thought about that metaphor until right now.
Whoa.
Good one.
There was something I want to tie back into from an earlier conversation that I forgot to mention. We were talking about being sent to your room and timeouts. If we're okay to circle back to that.
The final timeout.
Sitting on the stairs for eternity.
Go to your room.
That's an ASMR podcast.
ASMR, you've died. Lymphow. Okay, what were you gonna?
I was like lymph nodes.
Lymph node.
Hey.
The last thing I want to hear.
Can I get a lymph nodes in the chat?
No, no.
Hey,
Don't
if
swell
you've
them up.
made it this far, then comment lymph node.
Come on, lymph nodes.
Become a lymph
4
node.
comments.
What am I even talking about? Oh, one of the things I sent Lucas this video yesterday. But there was a video of mum dealing with their kid having a tantrum. So it seems like they have 3 kids. Like they have a 3-year-old, and then a young, like a baby, and then an older sibling. And they were talking about how is the camera gone? She's still going. Hey.
Survivor.
What am I? Okay. Her kid. So she was explaining what she was doing to like help her kid come down from this tantrum. Her kid comes into the room. They're like lying on the bed, like screaming, crying, like aggressive. And their mum just sits down in front of the door so she can't run out. And then she just waits. And eventually the kid comes to her, runs to her, hugs her, and then she's modeling like deep breathing and like calming down her physical nervous system and explaining the reasons why, like trying to figure out what's made her upset. And there's a point where she's like, I want to go and do this now, and she's like, but she'd gotten tense again. She's like, we need to make sure we're all the way calm before we go back into this space. And I think that there's an element, especially with young children, if her response was, I'm going to lock you in this room until you calm down, like that is so harmful, because the kid is not learning they are physically tiring themselves out. They'll leave the room still with those emotions. They haven't been able to express that to anyone. They don't feel understood, and then they're isolated. Whereas it was like she was sitting there, and then she like she ended it after like a lot of I don't want to explain the whole video again, but she ended it just like her and her kid were blowing each other's faces like to get their hair to move, because her kid found it so funny. And then they finished laughing together, and the kid was obviously regulated, and they were like, okay, we can go outside now and we can fix this problem and talk to your sisters, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And there was a point where her younger sibling was crying outside for mom, 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 and she was like da da da, and the kid was like da da da's crying, and she was like, yeah, she wants to be in here, she wants mom too, but I'm staying in here with you until you are calm. And it was like interesting, because it's like that'd be hard for lots of kids to figure out how to prioritize if you have 3 screaming kids wanting your attention and you have to choose one.
9.
9?
Maybe 12.
Maybe 12.
Little nuggets. I'm loving the conversation, but we should wrap up.
Yeah. So ultimately, I'd give you Child Lover Rules. As a joke, I wouldn't put fiction in the house.
What would you name
But I mean,
it?
my favorite series is like The Witcher, so I'm like, what am I talking about?
What would you name it?
Oh.
It as in a child. Not them, it.
I would name them Eduarda Edwards. And then you can add your last name.
You're giving our kid your last name.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I'd give them a nice Maori name, like Eduarda, or one that my partner does not like, but I think is fucking awesome, which is
I'm going to
Takuti.
ask you later, but is
Takuti is an awesome.
your partner's family name?
Means
'Cause
waterfall.
is one of my friends' family names. I was like, are they related?
I'm going to have to
We
cut
hug
that, eh?
Beep.
Beep, beep, beep. Just
A
cut.
nice Maori name. A nice Maori name. Something like Eduarda, which is one of the guys that made Hifakaputanga. Fun fact, Declaration of Independence. They were in our country. Or some other cool name like Busby or genuinely
Cook!
I grew up reading Narnia, so names like Montgomery and Diggory I love. I love.
Mr. Tumnus.
No. The first book, Magician's Nephew, the best book. And I would not put any fiction in the house. That's what I do.
Cut or uncut for our kid.
Chopping that shit off.
Chopping the whole thing off.
No, keep it on. He might be shy.
Fed is best or breast is best?
What are we? I'm not in this.
I'm sorry, I'm a boob lover, so that's just for me, kid. You get the bottle. Deal with it.
No, vaginal birth or C-section.
Oh, were you a vaginal birth or a C-section?
I was vaginal.
No, I forgot. But I meant to ask that, and then I said cut wrong cut.
People
instead.
think
Just
people think that a cesarean is named after Caesar, but he was actually born normally. Caesar just means to cut, and cesarean means to cut, like cut. It means like past tense cut. Fun fact.
Is there anything, before we do fully wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to mention on the podcast for you? Because this is your time, this is your moment, and you've been excited for this.
Just that I love you guys, and that I'd love to come on more because I love talking with you guys. We get along so well.
Third guest, that's what I'm saying. Third host, that's what I'm saying.
That is, well, I'll come up here as much as I can. I mean down. I mean sideways.
I mean across.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
Okay, sick. Love you, Ben.
I love you.
Yeah.
Love you guys.